Dear viewers, India's world-renowned security expert Mr. Praveen Sawhney needs no introduction as a fact. Now he seems to have added to the anxiety of Modi government by stating among other things that India-China war will activate four fronts.
And the issue here is that Indian military should know the capabilities of China, what sort of a war it will the PLA play out, because that will help in creating a deterrence against it. And why deterrence is important is we saw in April 2020 there was no deterrence, which is why the PLA came and occupied large chunks of Indian territory without giving a thought. So this is the reason we need to understand all that, create a deterrence. Now, the bad news is India-China war will not be limited to one front. It will actually be four fronts which will open up simultaneously. One, of course, is the India-China front, which I'll talk about in a while. The second is Pakistan. Pakistan certainly will get in the game, and what Pakistan can do, we got a glimpse of it in Operation Sindoor. It will be a one-front reinforced war where will the PLA will help the Pakistan military with all its capabilities without showing its hand. The third front will be a combined operation done between the Xinjiang military division PLA there and the Pakistan military. And the Pakistan military would be looking at the Siachen theatre, whereas the PLA of the Xinjiang military division, it will be looking at Ladakh, which they claim. When I say combined operation, that means the forces, the services of the two militaries will operate together. And we should know that since 2021, it is for this reason that the teams of the Pakistan military have been embedded in the headquarters of the Xinjiang military division and its higher headquarters, the Western Theatre Command, based in Chengdu. So this is the fourth front. The fifth front, of course, is Kashmir. Now let's talk of India-China front. I fail to understand that despite this 5-year standoff, why is it that the Indian military leadership has got two fundamental things operationally very important about the PLA completely wrong?
He has also spoken of the likely objectives of People's Liberation Army or PLA in a case of war with Indian military.
Well, I can suggest something here, that the PLA would be looking at in the first wave two things together. It will be looking at complete domination of the sky, and it will be looking at controlling the information in and out of the battlefield space. What that means is just finish off the communications of the Indian military at various levels, blind them completely. And this it can do with 6 capabilities in the first wave itself. For example, the first capability is that the main offensive of the PLA against the Indian military will not be PLAF, will be a rocket force. A rocket force which will see to it in a preemptive strike that the majority of Indian Air Force assets, their fighter jets, they stay grounded only, they don't take off. And they will be targeting there in the Indian Air Force bases, their ammunition dumps and their fuel points to make sure that if the runways are repaired, the aircraft still don't take off. And of course, other things which I have explained earlier also in my video. So this will be the first main offense capability. Second will be their aerospace force, which I said operates between 20 kilometers and 100 kilometers, where they have their hypersonic glide vehicles, hypersonic cruise missiles, and they'll have their airships and they'll have their high altitude drones. The third is cyber. See, it's no secret that in all the electronics that the Indian military has, India does not make semiconductors or ICs, integrated circuits. Everything is imported. And all those supply chains, somewhere they finally go to China. So China will have a huge role in cyber war against India in the military field. Next is electronic warfare. It's formidable. and the Americans say that also. It is advanced, it has artificial intelligence in it, it is what is called cognitive electronic warfare or somewhere close to that. Then they have huge space capabilities. Then they have what is called the integrated air and missile defense firewall, which is what they call their counter intervention strategy. Then, most important, for the first time, we will see the lethal autonomous weapons in a war field, in a battlefield. Now, what is lethal autonomous weapons? You see, when the autonomy will come, it will come to the maximum degree in missiles. And what will happen is, when we talk of lethal autonomous weapons, which is colloquially also called the killer robots, that the commander will give the order to the missile, or maybe 2 or 3 missiles are fired simultaneously and said that all right, your target is the Indian S-400 or it is the BrahMos. Then the missile takes a life of its own. Then the missile decides how and from which angle to do the maximum destruction or whatever task is given. So this is what is called lethal autonomous weapons. So these are the capabilities that we will see, and as a consequence of that, rest be assured, given the capabilities of the Indian military as of today, in 48 hours, in my assessment, the communications will be jammed completely of the Indian military. The satellites will be destroyed or displaced. The Indian Air Force will be blinded. See, I am giving a real picture, and this is my estimation of that. And the ALGs, the advanced landing grounds, and the airfields which are there close to the border, they will be taken over by the PLA army. This is what we are looking at. And the second wave, of course, will be their PLAF, which is their bombers and the 4th and 5th generation aircraft and the drones of all types. So this is the 2 waves will come to accomplish this objective. And once this objective is done, then what happens? As far as the ground force is concerned, the Indian Army is concerned, it will have no protection on the skies for it. And that is where the PLAF can again come for the Indian Army. The Indian Army forces, then they have their drones, they have the swarm drones, and you see, as I said, there will be nothing as the front and the rear of the battlefield. And what they will do is not carpet bombing, but precision bombing of all the places across the entire battle space. This is what will happen. And we will also see what I said, the cabs, we will see these humanoid robots also there. And once they have done this whole thing, next of course will be to bring in the vertical envelopment and do it with their the special forces, their heliborne forces, their aviation forces, their air aviation brigades, and that is something close to 1.5 to 2 lakh forces. They can just do the vertical envelopment and come and occupy the whole space. Now, what will happen is that Indian troops are there in their defensive. Their communications will be cut, but they are brave, they will fight. But the problem is that the PLA could use their thermobaric.
He has again stated that the Modi government will be well advised not to provoke China on Dalai Lama.
But I have seen the last time also in case of Pahalgam that the Modi government does something which goes against the logic. I did my videos there before when the Pahalgam happened, massacre which was unfortunate, and I said that the Indians will not use their air force, but it was used. And what happened after that? What results came? The results came that the world saw for the first time that the Pakistan military was actually a peer competitor of the Indian military. And because of that, the profile of General Asim Munif rose. And because of that, the geopolitical status of Pakistan went up. So it was a wrong move to have done Operation Sindoor, and of course, plenty else happened in Operation Sindoor. So what I am saying is that China is a formidable enemy. India is in South Asia. India, there are ways to have peace in the region, and that is what India should look at, and then understand the capabilities of the PLA and develop own deterrence against it. Thank you so much.
Binyaz Abu Zainab Sarfraz Ahmad, Karachi, Pakistan. Ana Zainab Sarfraz Ahmad, Karachi, Pakistan.